Hey everyone, it's spring, it's beautiful out. My wife's tulips are inspiring me to get out and take photographs. So today what I thought I'd do is I'd show you how I would consider photographing all of these tulips with four or five different things. So I have the 100 to 400 super telephoto. We have the Sony A7iv with the 20mm, like a really wide. So we're going from super telephoto to really wide to macro, the easiest way to get awesome flower shots. And then we got the new Sigma 85 1.4 contemporary for Fuji that I thought would be a cool little challenge. And I got the X100v is somewhere around here. I gotta find it. And we're gonna take all these cameras and lenses and we're going to get some really cool shots of the tulips right here. Let me talk about some of the challenges that we're gonna face. Here is the garden, pretty cool. It's small, but it's beautiful. And we face a couple different challenges. One is that we're gonna see the house in that direction over there. We have our house with the windows and we have the drain pipes. And then if you shoot the flowers going that way, right, going across the street, we're gonna get the houses. So we have a challenge of trying to get cool shots, and I wanna make these look like they're out in some big giant garden somewhere that's just really beautiful. And we're gonna do this. Let's start with the 100 to 400. Okay, I've got the 100 to 400 on the Fuji X-E4. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mostly go to 400mm and I'm gonna try to get rid of that background. But what's really neat about the 100 to 400 is how much it compresses stuff. So I could shoot at different angles and try to just kind of cheat by just surrounding my main subject with the flowers on the left or right and in front and behind. I forgot about how much fun it is to shoot with the 100 to 400. I'm just kind of like, I'm like a sniper. I'm just picking stuff out and I'm just trying to isolate it and make sure that my colors are cool, my corners are cool, and just kind of blow out the background. I'm having fun with the 100 to 400. If you haven't gone out with like a super telephoto and shot flowers, nature, you should give it a shot. It's pretty fun. Okay, next up we have the Fuji X-E4 with the Sigma, what is this? The 56 1.4, the new one, which I'm really excited to see. I was disappointed with the 56 1.2, sold it. This is my wife's for her portraits and stuff like that, and we're gonna see how it does for nature. Next up is my little friend, my little Fuji X100v. This thing is underrated as a landscape and nature camera. A lot of people get it for street and all that stuff, and that's cool. But man, this thing takes some great nature shots. Since it's wider, I have to be more careful of the stuff that's close to it and try to get some, you know, compositions, including some of the other flowers around my main center of focus. So let's go see what happens. The X100v is amazing at close focus. It does a good job. It's also really fast focuser. I've gotten so many great photos by just putting my focus on my shutter, just taking pictures like this and getting the shots, especially when they're close. It seems to lock on to anything that's near the camera. So it does an amazing job. X100v is set to classic negative. I'm shooting all JPEGs today, by the way. I don't want to edit too much later, so this is all JPEG land. And it's set to classic negative, so you'll see a vast difference between this, the color on these pictures, and the color on the X-E4, which is my wife's settings on there. And they look not really totally, the colors are totally different than what the tulips actually are, but I really dig the look. I love it a lot. Okay, up next, we have the Sony A7iv with the ultra wide 20 millimeters. I mean, pretty wide. It's pretty wide, right? And we're going to see what we can do with that. It's going to be a big challenge, especially compared to the, you know, medium wide of the 35 millimeters on the X100v. A couple things making this difficult on the 20 millimeter is just how wide it is. So I'm getting like the windows, I'm getting the other house and all that stuff. But what's cool is that the minimum focus distance is wildly close. So I'm getting this 20 millimeter like right next to stuff. It's locking some focus, at least it looks like it's locking focus. And I think it's gonna give me some cool shots. And then finally we have the 80 millimeter macro, which in my opinion is probably the best macro lens I've ever used, ever made, period, in the history of mankind. It's pretty awesome. And just as the sun is coming out and hitting these tulips in a little bit different way, it's gonna make a big difference. So let's check them out. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed. Got a couple different cool shots with all the different lenses and cameras. It was a tulip fest today. So until next time, we'll see ya.